Good afternoon, everyone. So we are doing the volcanic landforms. अब एक question आपको, that is, can you write an answer on the world distribution of volcanoes? You have to show how the world distribution of volcanoes in the three parts. That is the चार parts है world distribution of volcanoes के. We have drawn the diagram also regarding the world distribution of volcanoes. So after that, एक क्वेश्चन बचता है, एक्सप्लेन द मैकेनिज्म ऑफ वॉल्केनिक इरप्शन. Though you have written uska simple way in one test, that is why the volcanic eruption is occurring, but we have written just about the convergent plate boundary. Now this is the question which is asking you, explain the mechanism of entire volcanic eruption. So can we write that the volcanic eruption occurs due to the plate tectonic, it can be explained with the help of plate tectonic theory. There is high heat inside the mantle or in the asthenosphere. This high heat tries to escape or come on the surface of the earth in the terms of volcanoes. Now volcanoes are associated with the plate boundaries. There are three types of plate boundaries, out of which convergent and divergent plate boundary is associated with the volcanic eruption. Then mention about the convergent plate boundary ka volcano. How does the convergent plate boundary ka volcano works? That is, the two plates will converge. The denser plate will subduct. After subduction, it will melt, and after melting, this magma or lava will try to escape on the surface of the earth, causing volcanic eruption. So we call this volcanoes as violent volcanic eruptions. Then we have the other kind of a plate boundary, that is the divergent plate boundary. In this divergent plate boundary, the two plates move apart. As these two plates move apart, the volcano rises through fissure, yeah, through a crack, resulting into fissure kind of an eruption. And this explains the volcanoes of mid-oceanic ridges. So this is how the volcanic eruptions can occur. Any other thing, mechanism regarding the volcano? Wagner ने कुछ कहा, sea floor spreading में कुछ कहा volcano का. Just remember, sea floor spreading में क्या हमने volcanoes किए? Yes, but that volcanoes, can it be explained? Is it explained in the whatever the answer I have told you abhi? Yes, that is nothing but the volcanoes of divergent plate boundary. Hotspots, is it explained in this region and in this answer? No. Hotspots answer में लिखना भी नहीं है, because hotspots is an exception. So exception के लिए हम answer नहीं लिखते. Whenever such answers come, it is a generalized example of volcanic eruption. You do not have to write about the hotspots here. Any doubt regarding hotspots yesterday, why this magma or lava comes up? It comes up because वहाँ पे mantle is thin. Yeah, the heat is too much greater inside the earth. So you take down the mechanism of volcanic eruptions. I'll give you in small points only because it is repetitive. We have done this many times. So the first is, volcanoes are formed when the heat that is trapped inside the mantle, tries to escape through a vent or a opening, The heat due to minerals, especially the radioactive minerals, especially the radioactive minerals is brought up in the form of magma, is brought up in the form of magma by convectional currents, causing volcanic eruption, by convectional currents causing volcanic eruption. This volcanic eruptions are best explained by plate tectonic theory, which tells the cause, mechanism, as well as the intensity of the volcanic eruptions. Cause, mechanism, as well as the intensity of the volcanic eruptions. And draw this diagram. Not necessarily you can show the, अगर नहीं show किया तो भी चलेगा. This is the mid-oceanic ridge. We were trying to tell here that volcanic eruption कैसे हो रहा है. We are not talking here कौन सा boundary है. Density, speed.
Density and speed. Density and speed. So will length define? Does length define the density?
Constituent. What is the mineral composition? That will define the density.
The length doesn't matter.
यहाँ पे मोस्टली एसिडिक, मोस्टली ग्रेनाइट, थोड़ा बहुत बसाल्ट भी होगा. बसाल्ट, यस, बसाल्ट का होगा, बट ऊपर आते आते इट विल मेल्ट ग्रेनाइट ऑल्सो. यहाँ पे ऑल्सो देर इज अ ग्रेनाइटिक. सो ऊपर आते आते इट विल बी मिक्सचर ऑफ बोथ. When the landform is formed, it will be the mixture of both. There will be olivine, there will be basalt, there will be granite, there will be different types of rocks. Fissure में only basalt, pure basalt. इसलिए हम करते ही नहीं है. हम करेंगे हिमालयाज आर मेड अप ऑफ नीस एंड शिस्ट. ग्रेनाइट की भी बात नहीं करेंगे, बसाल्ट की भी बात नहीं करेंगे. Can I continue? Yes, sir. So there are basically two types of eruptions. There are basically two types of eruptions. First, eruption associated with convergent plate boundary. Eruption associated with convergent plate boundary. This eruption is of violent central type. Central type मतलब mountain में से निकल रहा है, एक ही vent में से निकल रहा है. Violent central type. Generally associated with the fold mountains. Violent central type, generally associated with fold mountains. Full stop. It is caused when the denser plate undergoes subduction. It is caused when the denser plate undergoes subduction, melts, and then the magma is forced to rise up. Melts and then the magma is forced to rise up. Magma is forced to rise up. Full stop. All the volcanoes, full stop, all the volcanoes of convergent plate boundaries, is of this type. All the volcanoes of convergent plate boundaries is of this type. This type matlab the central type of volcano. इसमें best example Pacific Ring of Fire. Pacific Ring of Fire. Next, fissure type of eruption. This type of eruption is either associated with divergent plate boundaries or faults and fractures on the Earth's crust. faults and fractures on the Earth's crust. Next point. In this type of eruption, magma, which is fluidic and basaltic in nature, and don't write basaltic तो आपको पता है. I will give you one more word, mafic in nature. Meaning is rich in iron. Basaltic and mafic in nature. Mafic matlab basic. Why basic? Because it is rich in iron. Mafic in nature. Rises upwards and finds its way silently through cracks and fissures. Either forming mid-oceanic ridges or vast plateaus. Plateau भी बनाएगा this kind of magma we have seen yesterday. That is the Deccan lava plateau, Icelandic plateau. Iceland is also an example of an plateau, Siberian plateau. So all this is associated with the basic magma. Next point. माफिक बसाल्टिक एक ही है. बसाल्टिक बेसिक माफिक एक ही है. माफिक इसलिए बोलते हैं उसको क्योंकि उसमें आयरन ज़्यादा है. इसलिए मैंने आपको बोला कि मैं एक नया वर्ड दे रहा हूँ आपको, सो दैट क्वेश्चन अगर आता है माफिक बसाल्टिक बेसिक यू शुड नो एक ही टाइप का है. बिकॉज ये वर्ड वी विल रिक्वायर इट वाइल डूइंग एनवायरमेंट एंड इकोलॉजी. बिकॉज जहाँ जहाँ माफिक मैग्मा इज देयर वहाँ पे स्टोरिंग द एटमॉस्फेरिक कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इज ईजी. And that topic is carbon sequestration or carbon sink. So mafic magma or lava, it will react with atmospheric carbon dioxide and convert that atmospheric carbon dioxide into calcium carbonate. So ये नई technology है that how to stop global warming. The answer is spray the carbon dioxide on mafic magma या basaltic magma, because ये इसीलिए ये Iceland में हो रहा है ये project. And now you should know why it is happening in the Iceland, because it is made up of basalt. Iceland is made up of basalt. India is also a participant of this project. India में भी हो सकता है, but first you will have to see whether it is really successful or not. So that is going on in Iceland. India में इसलिए chances कम है होने के because population density is very high. So where you will do that? Imagine you spray carbon dioxide on the black cotton soil. तो वो कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट चूना बन जाएगा वो सॉइल. सो आगे जाके क्या करोगे वहाँ पे? चूना बेचना पड़ेगा, नॉट ग्रोइंग कॉटन और शुगर केन. सो इसलिए वी डू नॉट डू दिस प्रोजेक्ट्स ऑन द डेंसली पॉपुलेटेड रीजन. वी विल डू दिस इन द Iceland like countries, and if they are successful then we will replicate it somehow in the countries like India. Yeah, we will take this carbon dioxide and spray it there. Carbon capture is technology का नाम. Now one last point here. Thus the volcanic eruptions are common on geological time scale. Volcanic eruptions are common on the geological time scale, and they have been associated with short-term global cooling short term global cooling and long term global warming and long term global warming. ये लाइन याद रखना, ये प्रीलिम्स के लिए दिया है मैंने लाइन. No need of writing this in the answer, but this is very important line. I will ask you only what does it mean. और एक line याद रखना. They are also associated with mass extinction, and thus evolution of life. Last, though not scientifically proven, it has been observed that melting of ice caps and glaciers, especially in polar regions, is associated with increasing volcanic activities. Why? See, this is the new research which is coming up. It will take 2-3 years to get scientifically proven cause effect, but it is said that कि ऊपर का जब ice cap melts, तो ice cap is a huge body of an ice. Ice caps are very big in size. They have large amount of weight. So when they melt and they get converted into water, it reduces the weight. Because it reduces the weight, earth starts expanding. As the earth starts expanding, cracks form होते हैं. And because the earth starts expanding, उस cracks में से जो नीचे basic magma और lava है, it now starts coming on the surface of the earth. जब तक ice caps था, तब तक the earth was compressed. And therefore, ऊपर का pressure इतना ज़्यादा था that the magma could not escape. But as the ice caps are melting also, the magma, because of a decrease in the pressure of that magma, can start coming upwards, and especially through cracks and fissures. This is more true for basaltic lava or basaltic magma, and then it comes on the surface of the earth, causing the volcanic eruptions. So this is what you remember. Why? It is because the melting of ice caps and glaciers reduces the overlying pressure, or in the bracket we'll be using this word in landslides, we'll be using this in the climatology, superincumbent load. Superincumbent load means ऊपर का load. Superincumbent load, that is nothing but ऊपर से जो pressure आता है. So we are right now having a superincumbent load on our body, that is the atmospheric pressure, and our body is also putting that much load outside, and therefore our body is maintaining उसका shape. If you go suddenly deep inside, ऊपर का pressure बढ़ता है, and body cannot adjust to such a rapidly changing environment. That is why I said कि sometimes scuba diving में, if you go very deep inside the sea, the body suddenly will burst. That is because superincumbent load goes on increasing if you go vertically downwards. वही है superincumbent load. If you jump vertically in the water, नाक कान में पानी चला जाएगा. That is because your body cannot put that much pressure outside. So superincumbent load, overlying pressure, full stop. Due to this, the magma starts rising upwards. The magma starts rising upwards. Magma starts rising upwards. Increasing the volcanic eruptions. Increasing the volcanic eruptions. Full stop. So that is there. Now वहाँ पे एक ये दिया है, I have given you one thing. It causes long-term global warming and it causes short-term global cooling. Can you tell me why?
So when there is volcano, gases की वजह से sunlight आ नहीं पाती, so there is cooling at that time.
That is cooling. And why long-term global warming? One of the reason is this.
The trapping of gases, because like if I want to relate it to the greenhouse effect, what happens, the gases get trapped and then especially carbon.
Got it.
So what will happen, like carbon dioxide will release and that carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere.
Yeah, same point. Any other reason? Water vapor. Water vapor के बाद rainfall होगा कि नहीं? Hygroscopic nuclei. So what will happen? Initially the gases and the flume, that is the pyroclastic material, they will form an envelope around the surface of the earth. As a result of this, sunlight will reduce. Because sunlight will reduce, it will cause short-term global cooling. But after some days, the clouds will be formed because water vapor bhi hai, gases bhi hai, and all these gases are what? Greenhouse gases. And after that, there will be huge amount of rainfall. Because of rainfall, ye jitna bhi dust particles hai in the atmosphere, they will come and settle down. After coming and settling down, sky will become clear. If the sky becomes clear, therefore the sunlight will come with greater intensity. When the sunlight is coming with the greater intensity, hamesha yaad rakhna, the sun rays comes in the form of short wave radiations. So the short wave radiations are allowed by the gases to enter the interior of the earth. Uske baad the earth will get heated up. And earth on other hand will give out long wave radiations. So कोई भी secondary heat का body है, it gives out long wave radiations. That is a physics का law. जो भी primary heat का body है, it will give out short wave radiation. For example, gas का radiation will be short wave. उसके ऊपर बर्तन का radiation will be long wave. इसलिए बर्तन की heat you feel for a longer distance. Gas की heat you do not feel for a longer distance. And this long wave radiations की एक खासियत है, they are trapped by the greenhouse gases. They do not allow the long wave radiations to escape. See, they are allowing the short wave radiations to come inside the earth, but the long wave radiations are trapped. And because they are trapped, obviously what is happening is the heat is increasing, and we call this as a climate change or global warming. But volcanoes are very, very minute problem of the global warming. सबसे बड़ा problem of a global warming is human being. Human being is causing large scale changes. Otherwise, volcanoes are not causing large scale changes. So,
Does it affect the weight of the earth?
yes. This is what is known as greenhouse effect. The long wave radiations being trapped by the interior of the earth, by the gases, not the interior of the earth, and therefore heat increases. This is what is greenhouse effect. Example, it is also known as a glass effect. Example, your car. Park the car in the heat. Go and sit after some time. It is very, very hot outside. So what you do? Inside, sorry. What you do? You should open up the doors and windows for some time and then AC काम करेगा. नहीं तो पहले AC काम नहीं करेगा. What you are doing? बाय ओपनिंग ऑफ द डोर्स एंड विंडोज आप ये ग्लास या ग्रीन हाउस का जो एनवलप है वो निकाल देते हो. सो एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ दिस टेरेस्ट्रियल रेडिएशंस कैन एस्केप. सो कार के अंदर की जो ट्रैप्ड हीट है इट एस्केप्स एंड वंस इट एस्केप्स देन एसी काम करता है. दैट इज व्हाट इज ग्लास इफेक्ट और ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट. कोई पॉजिटिव्स भी है कुछ नेगेटिव्स भी है. सो what causes? Yes, माइक्रो क्लाइमेट चेंज मतलब शॉर्ट टर्म नहीं, माइक्रो मतलब छोटे एरिया में. इट विल So you have 10 minutes, write an answer for this on a blank page, submit it to me after the class. फाड़ के जो हमने किया है वो you have to do that. अभी घर पे जाके हर कोई लिख पाएगा. Thing is whether you can write it now. We have completed one topic. सब पता है आपको, that is global warming, acid rainfall, pollution, smogs, ये सब आना चाहिए आंसर में. Even past climatic changes which has resulted into the large scale impact, evolution of the life on the earth, increase in the heat, past volcanic eruption इतने ज़्यादा थे कि it caused Pleistocene ice age. ये और long term global warming, ये सब points होने चाहिए in the answer. Then we will discuss what this answer should be. So your time starts now. So I am giving 10 minutes, वैसे 7 मिनट मिलेंगे, but I am giving you 10 minutes. Yes. Don't tear it, keep it to yourself. मैं आपको मॉडल आंसर दूंगा, आप खुद ही चेक कर लेना. So, if you have any doubts, then you can show me, because obviously लूँगा नहीं 150 लोगों का अभी के अभी. So, keep it with yourself. मगर बोलता नहीं तो कोई लिखता नहीं. So, over the period. Now, you see how this is not a model answer. I'm just telling you how the structure of an answer should be. The structure of an answer should be, सबसे पहले you have to write about the introduction. So what can come in the introduction? Regarding volcano, what is volcano? या उससे better can be regarding the global climate change. What is the better? What the question is demanding? Global climate change में role of volcanoes. So what is a better introduction here? That is, it is the global climate change is a better introduction rather than volcanoes. उन्होंने volcanoes का सिर्फ एक रोल पूछा है. So can you can start with anything that is the biggest or the biggest challenge in this phase is the global climate change. Though anthropogenic global climate change, yeah, though human beings are more responsible for the global climate change, but there are some of the natural reasons for the global climate change, and one of the natural reason is volcano. So you have set the tone कि global climate change is one of the biggest challenge of the 21st century. Global climate change के दो reasons है, that is the natural reason and the artificial reason. Artificial reason हम है, but natural reason में सबसे बड़ा natural reason is volcano. And then the impact of the global volcano. So volcano say, can I say, सबसे पहले there is a global warming. So you should write, this is the answer which you can write properly in the points. Global warming का एक heading बनाया, and then telling why the global warming. Global warming is caused due to greenhouse gases that are released by the volcanoes. So you can mention here that these greenhouse gases such as water vapor, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxides will trap the heat, and as a result of this, over the period of time, the amount of global warming will increase. वो line आप यहाँ पे use कर सकते हो. It is going to increase the long term global warming due to the greenhouse gases. Then you can write an example यहाँ पे. अब यहाँ का example अभी फिलहाल पता नहीं है, but still if you over the period of time when we'll complete our syllabus, you will be given many of the examples. So you can write इनका examples that the past, even now, though only thing is you cannot relate, the past global warming, the past volcanic eruptions was responsible for short-term Pleistocene ice age, but long-term global warming. एक short term period था, that is what is known as an Pleistocene ice age, but it has resulted into long term global warming. Can I say precipitation or rainfall? It will result into precipitation or rainfall. So I guess ये point किसी ने लिखा है यहाँ पे precipitation or rainfall. So it will result into more and more rainfall. And why rainfall? Because there is water vapor plus hygroscopic nuclei. But this rainfall, due to the presence of pollutants, will be in the form of acid rainfall. So have you mentioned acid rainfall? Yes. This rainfall will be in the terms of an acid rainfall. Hygroscopic nuclei, that is cloud droplets. Have you mentioned about pollution? Why pollution? Because of volcanic ash, dust, and the gases such as acid rainfall, that is nitrous oxides, sulfur dioxide. All this will result into formation of smog. It will result into the formation of smogs.
Sir, NOx and SOx contribute in acid rain as well.
And NOx is photochemical smog, SOx is classical smog. So NOx ka smog is more dangerous because it results into the formation of smog, which is there even during the daytime when the people are outside their houses. That is the photochemical smog. What? क्लासिकल स्मॉग मीन्स जो नॉर्मल स्मॉग है सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड से जो बनता है, जो सुबह सुबह जब आप बाहर निकलते हो एंड देयर इज एन कोहरा और देयर इज अ फॉग एंड इट इज मिक्स्ड विद दैट इज एन क्लासिकल स्मॉग. जैसे ही सनलाइट आएगा दैट स्मॉग विल डिसअपियर. बट फोटोकेमिकल स्मॉग दिल्ली दिन भर भी देयर इज एन सम धुआं रहता है बिकॉज फोटोकेमिकल स्मॉग रिक्वायर्स सनलाइट एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट इज मोर डेंजरस. क्लासिकल स्मॉग किसको अफेक्ट करेगा? अर्ली मॉर्निंग में ओनली पीपल हु गो आउट. सो जनरली विंटर्स में वी कैन अवॉइड गोइंग आउट इन फॉर वॉक और फॉर एक्सरसाइज. बट फोटोकेमिकल स्मॉग किसको अफेक्ट करेगा? एवरीवन, बिकॉज इट विल बी स्ट्रॉन्गर ड्यूरिंग द डे टाइम. एग्जाम्पल इज इसका दिल्ली, इसीलिए BS6 नॉर्म्स ऑड इवन. यस.
Sir, and I never understood the concept of what is 2.5 mm, the size of particle.
Let me complete the answer. Wait. What is the other impact here of global warming? Global climate पे. It will result into melting of ice caps and glaciers. Why? Because of high heat. दो रीजन है इसके. एक तो high heat released during the volcano, and secondly volcanic ash and dust. Now you will not understand this word, which reduces the albedo. Entirely this point, not sea level. I will come to the sea level as a separate point. Answer writing technique is, it is individualistic. I am just telling you what are the points you can include. You can still elaborate it. Yes. Yes. But what is happening in the Iceland region, in the Greenland region, because the precipitation is not there, solid air precipitation. So the वहाँ पे volcanic eruptions are causing deposition of volcanic ash, and as a result of this, albedo is slightly decreasing. So ये सिर्फ local specific है. अगर इंडिया में होता है तो albedo ज़्यादा, in fact ज़्यादा होगा, because that volcanic ash and dust will be carried by the rain water inside the sea. Have you included anyone the point of ocean acidification? 10 नंबर में जितने ज़्यादा पॉइंट्स डालोगे उतना ज़्यादा फायदा होगा. पैराग्राफ में क्यों लिखा है? एक ही पॉइंट से तो सब पॉइंट्स इलैबोरेट थोड़ी करने होते हैं. जितने ज़्यादा कवरेज होगा आंसर का उतना ज़्यादा मार्क्स मिलेंगे. एग्जामिनर सीधा ये देखेगा क्या क्या पॉइंट्स आपने डाले हैं. एक पॉइंट को बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सप्लेन करोगे तो आंसर ये नहीं पूछ रहा है एक पॉइंट को बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सप्लेन करो. आंसर पूछ रहा है ग्लोबल क्लाइमेट पे व्हाट आर द इम्पैक्ट्स, एंड दैट इज व्हाई दैट योर हाउ इज योर वोकैबुलरी. जितना बेटर इज योर वोकैबुलरी, जितना बेटर इज योर आंसर फ्रेमिंग, उतना यू कैन ऐड मोर पॉइंट्स. जितना bad is your vocabulary, jitna bad is your answer framing, utna you will write it may cause ocean acidification. Due to the ocean acidification, the aquatic life will start dying. फिर आपको याद आएगा due to the ocean acidification, फिर से यही लिखोगे due to the ocean acidification, that is the coral reefs will start dying. फिर से लिखोगे ocean acidification is caused due to the falling of ash and the pollutants in the water. Ocean acidification is increasing the amount of carbon dioxide in the oceans, and as a result of this, it is trapping more carbon dioxide. It is trapping more heat, full stop. Due to more heat, the sea level is rising. एक लाइन में खत्म करो, ocean acidification destroys the oceanic food chain. Because of the destruction of the oceanic food chain, it causes the carbon, it becomes a carbon sink, causing rise in the sea level and ultimate global warming. Khatam ho gaya answer. You have written all the points together. You are talking about the destruction of the oceanic food chain. मतलब obviously life khatam ho gayi wahan pe. Carbon sink मतलब it has trapped the carbon dioxide, and because of the carbon sink, the temperature, the sea level has increased. कौन सा? इस पॉइंट में डालो ये. Melting of ice caps and glaciers is a different thing. Melting of ice caps and glaciers will occur only in the higher latitudes. Global warming can occur. अगर कल डेक्कन लावा प्लाटू में है तो कहाँ का ice cap melt होगा? All over the world, if the, इसलिए हमने इसमें green house gas पे ही focus किया है. We are not focusing on this thing. So ocean acidification, remember? Why? Because more carbon dioxide in the oceans destroys aquatic life, reduces फ्लोरा एंड फाउना का डिस्ट्रक्शन भी होता है शॉर्ट टर्म में, और लॉन्ग टर्म में रीजनरेशन होता है, बिकॉज द सॉइल विच इज कॉज्ड, विच इज फॉर्म्ड इज हाईली फर्टाइल. क्वेश्चन क्या है? ग्लोबल क्लाइमेट. ह्यूमन बींग्स को क्यों कंसिडर कर रहे हो? सिर्फ वॉल्केनोस को कंसिडर करो. लार्ज स्केल डिजीज कहाँ से आ गया यहाँ? I'll tell you later on. How disease you are saying? How it is related disease? वैसे तो देखो, क्वेश्चन इज आस्किंग ओनली अबाउट ग्लोबल क्लाइमेट, सो दिस आर द पॉइंट्स. वैसे तो लॉन्ग टर्म में बहुत फर्क पड़ेगा कि शॉर्ट टर्म में देयर विल बी मास एक्सटिंक्शन, बट लॉन्ग टर्म में देयर विल बी रिन्यूअल ऑफ लाइफ ऑन द अर्थ. क्यों रिन्यूअल ऑफ लाइफ? जो भी मास एक्सटिंक्शन है, इट विल ऐड सेडिमेंट्स टू द सॉइल. इज डेथ नेसेसरी टू सपोर्ट फर्टाइल सॉइल, और यस और नो? यस. व्हाई? बिकॉज जो भी डेड एनिमल्स है, दे विल फॉर्म अ ह्यूमस, जिसको हम हिंदी में कहेंगे खाद, and they will increase the fertility of soil, plus there will be black soil. So over the period of time the forests will regenerate, but वो long term में होगा, because the long term में forest will regenerate, it is going to change the hydrological cycle. अब यही forest will put more water vapor back to the surroundings through the process of evapotranspiration. This same forest will remove more of an carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Why? Because of process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis removes, but हमें ये सब इस आंसर में नहीं लिखना है. Why? Because this is asking only about the global climate. Though if you want, you can tell this will be the long-term impact of the volcanic eruptions. That is, entire rainfall patterns of the world will change. Fine with this?
Can we connect it with the solar flare and the paleomagnetic?
It has nothing to do with the global climate. कार्बन सिक्वेस्ट्रेशन इसलिए रिड्यूस होगा क्योंकि एक्वाटिक लाइफ स्पेशली कोरल्स and the seaweeds will be destroyed with the increase in the carbon dioxide. Now with the because as the aquatic life decreases, the oceans become a dead zone. As the oceans become a dead zone, instead of photosynthesis, respiration is occurring, and the dead bodies will start giving out carbon dioxide. So as the dead bodies will start giving out carbon dioxide, the entire ocean will become acidic. Carbon sequestration will decrease. Why? Because the corals, when they die, the zooxanthellae dies, seaweeds die. So जितना भी green plants है which are in the photic zone, because oceans में deep तक तो green plants are not there, they are only up to the depth of 200 meters, they start dying. And when anything dies, there is the green plant are dying, there is no photosynthesis. So if there is no photosynthesis, there is no capture of carbon dioxide.
Sir, then how it rises the sea level?
Ocean acidification. When oceans will become acidic, they will become more warmer. And because they will become more warmer, the sea level will rise. Cyclone ये सब नहीं है यहाँ पे. What? कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. Even don't worry about the doubt which I explained about the carbon sequestration. किसका? पानी का? हाँ तो होगा ही. What can be the conclusion? We have to stop the global warming by stopping the volcanic eruptions. For what? You will say volcano, you are a signatory of Kyoto Protocol. So conclusion is one simple thing, that is global warming is more caused due to anthropogenic activities, and volcanoes play a very minute and local role in modifying the local climate. Global climate पे बहुत ज़्यादा impact नहीं है volcanoes का. Why I give you this question? Because June 2018 में there has been a big case study which is presented by the Institute of Science regarding the role of global warming and the volcanoes. So volcanoes and उनका role in global warming, volcanoes and उनका role in global climate change, volcanoes and उनका role in modifying the life on the earth. So उसमें भी यही conclusion है that the volcanoes are, though they are responsible for global warming, but they are not that important, because इससे पहले controversy थी between two scientists कि volcanoes are more responsible for global warming rather than the anthropogenic emissions. Now it has been concluded, though बहुत कम साइंटिस्ट उस थियोरी को सपोर्ट करते थे कि वॉल्केनोज का रोल बड़ा है, बट इट हैज नाउ बीन शट डाउन बाय कंक्लूजन दैट वॉल्केनोज आर नॉट दैट बिगर पार्ट ऑफ अ प्रॉब्लम ऑफ ग्लोबल वार्मिंग. बिगर पार्ट ऑफ अ प्रॉब्लम इज अस, दैट इज वी ह्यूमन बींग्स. यू शुड रिमेंबर, ये जितना भी लाइट्स, फैन, एसी चल रहा है, दैट मीन्स समवेयर द कार्बन is being burnt, and that means the global warming, we are contributing more to the global warming, because अभी तक ये था कि ये जो ग्लोबल वार्मिंग जो है, हिस्टोरिकल ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, एक तो नेचुरल ग्लोबल वार्मिंग है, सनस्पॉट साइकिल है, उसमें वॉल्केनिक इरप्शंस प्ले अ पार्ट, एक है एंथ्रोपोजेनिक ग्लोबल वार्मिंग. व्हाट इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट इज द एंथ्रोपोजेनिक ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, नॉट द natural global warming. Natural global warming जो है, it occurs so slowly that our body can adjust. Problem है human beings. For example, to make 1 centimeter of soil, nature takes 70 years. And how much time we require? Some seconds to destroy that 1 centimeter of soil. So it is this problem we are causing. We are accelerating the rate of our destruction. We are accelerating the process of global warming. And therefore उसमें volcanoes इतना ज़्यादा part नहीं करते. Because suppose if there is a volcanic eruption below Delhi के आसपास से, क्या फ़ायदा क्या होगा? फ़ायदा ये होगा कि there will be mass extinction. So short term में नुकसान होगा, but long term में population resource balance हो जाएंगे over the period of time. So एक ये है, this is again a part of a geography only, कि control your own population, otherwise nature will control the population, जहाँ पे the resource population is very high through natural disasters or through diseases or through wars etc. So India का problem ही वैसे खत्म हो जाएगा अगर वो यहाँ पे large scale volcanoes आए, then we can regenerate, कि जो बचे हैं they can regenerate the life and they can again balance it very properly. So volcanoes, इसके conclusion I want you to say is that volcanoes though are important part of Earth's life cycle, but they are not that prominent in the modern global warming. किया था volcanoes ने global warming कब? Cretaceous period में, because that time there was a large scale volcanic eruptions on the earth, पर आज नहीं है ये. So अगर आप relate कर सकते हो old Cretaceous period को कि yes they were responsible for high amount of global warming and climate change, but it was in the Cretaceous period, not in the modern times. Fine with this? Now we come to an easy topic, that is rocks. So if you are reading the NCERTs, we are starting with the Unit 3, that is the landforms. Now when you do this books at home, don't read all these things. This is never asked in the examination. This is not in our syllabus also कि minerals क्या है rocks में etc. सिर्फ ये chart पे थोड़ा ध्यान देना. That is what is this chart regarding, what is the rocks made up of, that is what is the earth's crust made up of, because पूरा earth's crust is made up of rocks. And उसके बाद what is in our syllabus is this thing, rock cycle and these 2 pages. Rest of the things are not in our syllabus, so don't worry about pyroxene क्या है, chords क्या है, उसके क्या properties है. It is not even in the geography optional syllabus. So forget about GS में कभी ये questions आएंगे regarding the mineral constituents of the rocks, because ये है geology. This is not geography. When you do something regarding the mineral composition of the rocks, the type of the rocks, the structure, texture, luster of the rocks, that becomes geology. Geography and geology में फ़र्क है, that geography is the study of landforms for human benefit and geology is the study of landforms for in the scientific way. So that is the major difference. Geography में हमेशा human application ज़्यादा है. So इसलिए geography becomes arts का subject या social science का subject and geology becomes proper science का subject. So other thing, if you want to read, you can read this. Luster मतलब क्या, texture मतलब क्या, but again exam से related कुछ नहीं है, so but you can read this part. So when we do the rocks, now can you tell me what is rocks versus soil? क्या है rocks versus soil? Can I say aggregate of minerals in the solid form is known as rocks? Whatever the minerals are there in the earth, 2000 से ज़्यादा minerals हैं on the earth, उसका aggregation, उसका collection in the solid form is rocks. And after the rocks break, they may become a part of soil, but they are added by dead organisms, that is humus. They may be added by another minerals. They may be added by organic matter. So organic matter, rocks ka broken part, etc. make a soil. What is more important from us is the soil. because soil is responsible for agriculture, soil is responsible for human activities, rocks is not that important. Now when we do the rocks, 3 types के rocks है. One which is formed due to the volcanic eruption and it is known as an igneous rock. One which is formed due to breaking of any kind of an rock. Breaking के बाद वो soil बन जाता है, but over the period of time it is compacted, cemented and compacted and cemented to form an rock which is made up of sediment, so it is known as an sedimentary rock. Third kind of an rock is any of this original rock. It can be an igneous rock, it can be sedimentary rock, undergoes sudden change. So change matlab metamorphism. What do you mean by English word metamorphism? Means translation or change. So, but this rock changes without breaking. Agar wo break ho jata hai, तो it would have been a sedimentary rock. So third kind of an rock is known as an metamorphic rock. Why it is caused? Either pressure will cause the change or temperature will cause the change, or both pressure and temperature will cause the change. Temperature मतलब ये sun की heat नहीं. Temperature means very very high temperature, that is the volcanic eruptions, or if it goes inside the mantle. Now all these rocks, again this is not permanent. कोई भी igneous rocks can become sedimentary, कोई भी sedimentary rock can become metamorphic. Any metamorphic rock can again become an igneous, or it can be remetamorphosed to form a new metamorphic rock. कल ही मैंने example दिया, diamond बन जाता है graphite. Diamond is also a metamorphic rock and graphite is also a metamorphic rock. So all these rocks, then they will go inside the mantle. If they are located on the boundaries of oceanic crust, once they go inside the mantle, they will melt. फिर convectional currents उनको फिर से बाहर फेंकेंगे, and they will come out as magma. Then this magma will solidify and they will be again an igneous rock. So ये जो entire process है, this is what is rock cycle. Now there are two ways of asking question here. See, with the kind of the change in the questions, direct questions आने बंद हो गए. They ask you too much of an applied questions nowadays, especially in the mains, right? They are checking your overall knowledge. So in the rocks, they will not ask you a questions on rock cycle, etc. जो NCERT में दिया है, जो हम भी करेंगे. They will ask you the distribution of rocks in India and its association with minerals. They can ask you why the rocks are there, a overall distribution of rocks in India. Prelims में they used to ask two kind of questions. That is the igneous rocks की properties क्या है, sedimentary rocks की properties क्या है, metamorphic rocks की क्या है. Secondly, they can give you an example of the sedimentary rocks and they will ask you to reduce them in the order of uska grain size, etc. Thirdly, they can tell which rock is sedimentary. ये मतलब rocks आपको पता होना चाहिए rock ये sedimentary है या metamorphic है. Fourthly, like this here, there are iron ore mines in Rajasthan. ये statement था. बस no book has told which iron ore mine is in Rajasthan, क्योंकि एक major mine नहीं है. थोड़े बहुत optional के books में है, that is there are iron ore mines in Rajasthan. But आज ही हम rocks में करेंगे that Rajasthan has metamorphic rocks. And उसी में हम देखेंगे कि metamorphic rocks are the richest reservoirs of metallic minerals. अगर ये concept पता है तो जहाँ जहाँ metamorphic rock है वहाँ पे there are chances of iron ore. This is how they are changing from 2015-16 onwards. That is, they are asking you more and more applied parts. But then that is the same thing. There you will find two group of students. मैं सिर्फ NCERT पढ़ता था और हमेशा clear हुआ हूँ पेपर और NCERT पढ़ के. मैं NCERT पढ़ता था, कुछ नहीं आता NCERT में से. क्यों? क्योंकि application ही नहीं समझे कभी NCERT की. जब तक application नहीं समझोगे, जब तक you will not read between the lines, तब तक क्लियर होना मुश्किल है. सो Now you have to decide आप कौन से कैटेगरी में हो. So there is also a third category जो हमेशा प्रीलिम्स मास्टर है, प्रीलिम्स पास करते हैं बस वहाँ पे ख़त्म, प्रीलिम्स के आगे they cannot go. So when we do the rocks, एक तो जो मैं क्लास नोट्स दूंगा और दूसरा पीपीटी. दैट इज पीपीटी सिर्फ प्रीलिम्स के लिए यूज़ करना और फोटोज सब देखने के लिए यूज़ करना. 2 पीपीटी आनी बाकी है. वन इज़ रॉक्स की, वन इज़ जो आज हमने पूरा कंसेप्ट ख़त्म किया है, दैट इज़ द प्लेट टेक्टोनिक्स एक्सेट्रा, उसकी एक पीपीटी है. सो यू कैन गो थ्रू द पीपीटी. आई विल शो यू द पीपीटीज टुमारो. सो टुमारो मे बी टुमारो तो मेरा ही क्लास है, एंड फ्राइडे सैटरडे ऑल्सो आई वॉन्ट टू टेक, बिकॉज मुझे जियोमॉर्फोलॉजी ख़त्म करना है as soon as possible, so that we can start with the climate. So if the link इसमें ऐसा रहा that I will, तो रॉक्स का या कोई भी एक टॉपिक का ऐसा रहा लिंक कल के क्लास के बाद कि फिर वो अगले थर्सडे को होके कोई फ़ायदा नहीं, मुझे फिर से आधा घंटा रिपीट करना पड़ेगा. तो इट्स बेटर दैट आई कंटिन्यू इट एंड फिनिश इट बाय सैटरडे. सो यू कैन टेक डाउन द रॉक्स. Rocks is an aggregation. Rocks is an aggregation of minerals, about 98%. ये लाइन सिर्फ प्रीलिम्स के लिए याद रखना. About 98% of Earth's crust is composed of oxygen, silicon, aluminum, iron, calcium, sodium, potassium and magnesium. Sodium, potassium and magnesium. कितने टोटल? 8 एलिमेंट्स. सो रिमेंबर दिस 8 एलिमेंट्स. ये ज्योग्राफी के भी एनसीईआरटी में मिलेगा, ये साइंस के भी एनसीईआरटीज में मिलेंगे, ये एनवायरनमेंट के भी एनसीईआरटीज में मिलेंगे. बट यू रिमेंबर दिस 8 एलिमेंट्स. व्हाई? बिकॉज दिस 8 एलिमेंट्स विल डिटरमाइन द फर्टिलिटी ऑफ द सॉइल. आयरन किस में ज़्यादा है? ब्लैक सॉइल. सोडियम किस में ज़्यादा है? पोटेशियम किस में ज़्यादा है? तो दार्जिलिंग टी. सब जगह यू विल फाइंड ब्लैक टी इन इंडिया एक्सेप्ट फॉर दार्जिलिंग. दार्जिलिंग की क्यों? बिकॉज पोटेशियम इज ग्रेटर इन द सॉइल. जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा सोडियम एंड क्लोराइड है, सैलिनिटी इन द सॉइल. एंड ऑल दिस इज बेस्ड ऑन. तो वन मोर स्टेटमेंट, द मोस्ट डोमिनेंट मिनरल in the earth's crust is कौन सा होगा ऊपर में से? Oxygen. The most dominant element in the earth's crust is oxygen. While the most dominant element in the entire earth, is, which will be, क्या है कोर और मैंटल में सबसे ज्यादा? आयरन. इज आयरन. दिस हैज बीन अ पास्ट ईयर क्वेश्चन ऑल्सो. द ओनली थिंग इज उन्होंने चेंज कर दिया था, ये लाइन को उल्टा कर दिया था. They said they had given that the most dominant element in the entire earth is oxygen. Entire earth में it is iron. Earth's crust में it is oxygen. वो भी logical है. If the earth's crust has oxygen, then only life can survive. That oxygen is formed in the sedimentary rocks. The rocks which are resistant to erosion, resistant to erosion are hard rocks, while which can be eroded easily, are known as soft rocks. Now look here, ये hardness on the and the softness of the rocks will be relative या कुछ नहीं, ये hard rock मतलब hard rock ही रहेगा, or will it be relative? It will be relative. It will depend on, can I say, climatic elements, right? You go and in the desert, वहाँ पे चूने के घर मिलेंगे, and come and make a house of calcium carbonate in India, especially peninsular India में जहाँ बारिश बहुत ज़्यादा होती है, तो क्या होगा, घर बह जाएगा. So यहाँ पे दिल्ली में sandstone के घर मिलेंगे. One of the most common element is sandstone. Go and make sandstone का house in Kerala, gaps में से पानी टपकेगा घर में. So वहाँ पे the sandstone is avoided. So this is what I meant by hardness and softness. ये सब relative है. Basalt is a very strong rock. It is a hard rock. But if you keep it compulsory, if you keep it in the water for a long time, it will break and form black soil. Granite is hard rock. इसीलिए घर का फ्लोर या घर ग्रेनाइट का है. घर का फ्लोर जनरली कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट का या चॉक का या लाइमस्टोन का नहीं है, क्योंकि या अगर पूरे घर में भी लाइमस्टोन है, पर किचन का स्लैब हमेशा बसाल्ट का होगा या कड़प्पा रॉक का होगा, बिकॉज रोज धोया जाएगा. सो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि एक साल बाद किचन का स्लैब हैज वेदर्ड अवे, सो नया बिठाओ. सो दिस इज ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन एक्सटर्नल एजेंट्स ऑफ इरोजन. बट स्टिल रिमेंबर, क्योंकि आगे के चैप्टर्स आर बेस्ड ऑन दिस. Hard rock is generally igneous rocks, and the metamorphic rocks are hard rocks, and in general sedimentary rocks are weak rocks, क्योंकि वो sediment से बने हैं. So you can take down, though the strength is relative, still in general igneous and metamorphic rocks are more resistant, or hard rocks. Igneous and metamorphic rocks are more resistant or hard rocks, and the sedimentary rocks are less resistant. Sedimentary rocks are less resistance. Now, सबसे पहले वर्ल्ड में क्या बना? Igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks या sedimentary rocks? Why? क्यों sediments? Igneous पहले बनेंगे, because sedimentary बनने के लिए there has to be rocks earlier which will be broken. So earlier what was there? Earth was a ball of fire. When it started cooling, upper part cooled quickly, and upper part हमने देखा ही है, नीचे का part अभी भी cool नहीं हुआ है properly. So कुछ जगह asthenosphere है, कुछ जगह there is the liquid outer core. Liquid outer core है. अगर कल question आता है कि convectional currents are present only in mantle, right या wrong? Convectional currents are present only in the asthenosphere, right or wrong? Wrong. क्यों? Convectional currents are present anywhere where there is liquid and semi-liquid. So outer core is liquid. So convectional currents are also present in the outer core. Remember this. So जब भी ऐसे question आएंगे, just imagine the earth का the entire structure. फिर apply करना logic. क्योंकि सब चीजें notes में नहीं हो सकती, सब चीजें books में भी नहीं हो सकती. तो आउटर कोर तो हीटेड है ना, Outer core is heated. Outer core, is it heated or not? Yes. So it has convectional currents. Convectional ये बाहर बारिश हो रही है, I guess. Why? Convectional currents has taken water vapor from the ground and taken it up, resulting into formation of clouds, and then it gives rainfall. So convectional currents will be present anywhere जहाँ पे gaseous matter है और जहाँ पे liquid matter है. याद रखना ये बेसिक चीज. सिर्फ कहाँ पे नहीं होंगे? जहाँ पे solid matter है. So yes. What is the temperature of swimming pool?
That's what I'm asking, sir. It's my doubt actually.
No. Obviously, there has to be heat for convectional currents.
अभी आपने बोला ना कि liquid जहाँ भी होगा.
तो outer core is heated ना. Temperature change होना ही चाहिए. So igneous rock. What is your background?
Sir, I know. I'm a civil engineer.
Right, हो जाता है ऐसे. Don't worry. See, there are two categories. एक तो normal student, एक तो engineering student. I can point out which is an engineering student. जो फालतू के doubts पूछेंगे, they are engineering student. Don't mind it. So I am not even joking on him. You ask ma'am also. Ma'am also can identify who are engineers in the class. प्लाटो जब हम पढ़ाएंगे तो कहीं प्लाटो को नरेंद्र मोदी से रिलेट करेंगे, समझ जाना इंजीनियर है. सो क्योंकि मैं खुद इंजीनियर हूँ, मैं खुद ऐसा था. तो कमिंग बैक टू द इग्नियस रॉक, आई एम जोकिंग, डोंट वरी. सो obviously we heat, temperature gradient तो होगा ही. So coming to, so there has to be someone जिसके ऊपर you can make fun in the class also, ताकि थोड़ा tension कम हो जाएगा. So coming to the igneous rocks, can I say these are the, you can take down, these are the parent rocks. These are the parent rocks. These are the parent rocks or primary rocks, because they were the first rocks. They were the first rocks. They were the first rocks formed during the cooling. First rocks formed during the cooling and solidification of magma and lava. Cooling and solidification of magma and lava. Cooling and solidification of magma and lava. Now understand one simple thing. Because they are formed due to cooling and solidification, anything when it cools and solidifies, it will result into trapping of air bubbles, or it will result into trapping of minerals, and as a result of this, it will result into formation of crystals. So जब भी हम igneous rock की बात करेंगे, तो what it should come in your mind is they are crystalline rocks. जैसे जब भी हम sedimentary rocks की बात करेंगे, तो हमने देखा, you should know that they are arranged in layers. They are layered rocks. So crystalline rocks मतलब, that is why I asked you again कि granite देखा है क्या? You will see there are crystals in the granite. So कोई भी rock जो igneous rock है, it will be crystalline. अब this crystalline igneous rock is of two types. अगर rock की हम बात कर रहे हैं, don't confuse rock with magma, because this is the second confusion which will arise in the students. हम कहें तो हम जब rocks की बात करेंगे तो there are two kinds of rocks which we are going to study in detail. One is granite, one is basalt. वैसे तो बहुत सारे हैं igneous rocks. Pumice is an igneous rock, gabbro is an igneous rock, but we don't go into detail. अब the rate of formation of crystals will depend upon the rate of cooling. If the cooling is occurring very fast, then the size of the crystals will be very, very slow. If the cooling is occurring very slow, there is sufficient time for the development of crystals, and therefore crystals ka size will be bigger. Ab cooling will occur slow on the surface of the earth or below the surface of the earth? Below the surface of the earth. So can I say intrusive igneous rocks will be more or less crystalline, and extrusive igneous rocks will be having less small crystals? अब intrusive igneous rock मतलब granite या basalt? ग्रेनाइट. सो ग्रेनाइट में जनरली क्रिस्टल्स ज़्यादा है, और बसाल्ट में अगर वो एक्सट्रूसिव है तो क्रिस्टल्स कम है. अब डाउट कहाँ पे आता है? डाउट आता है व्हेन यू कंफ्यूज क्रस्ट एंड द रॉक्स. द कॉमन डाउट यू आस्क कि अरे ओशियनिक क्रस्ट इज मेड अप ऑफ बसाल्ट, सो हाउ वी कैन से igneous basalt is an extrusive igneous rock? So that should not come. Why? Because जो हम rocks की बात कर रहे हैं, that is not about the crust. That is about the magma which has come up, solidified and formed a rock. हम पूरे क्रस्ट की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम सिर्फ एक छोटे पार्ट रॉक्स की बात कर रहे हैं. सो अब यू रिमेंबर बसाल्टिक मैग्मा जो था, बसाल्टिक मैग्मा इज फ्लूइडिक, दो इट इज फाउंड मच डेप्थ at a greater depth inside the crust, below the oceans or below the continents also, because oceanic crust के नीचे there is continental crust के नीचे there is an oceanic crust. But वो जो basaltic magma है, it is fluidic, ये हमने पढ़ा है, and as a result of this it can come out through cracks. Because it can come out through cracks, it can easily reach on the surface of the earth, and when it reaches on the surface of the earth and cools, तो फिर वो बन जाएगा basalt rock. So understanding, so the crust and the rock has no relation. So basaltic rock मतलब less crystals. क्यों? क्योंकि वो extrusive है. अब क्यों extrusive है? Because it was fluidic in nature. What was fluidic in nature is basaltic magma, and therefore it could come out through cracks. अब दो originally granitic magma is found much at a greater height than the basaltic magma. If this is the earth, this is the layer where there is a granitic magma, this is the layer where there is an basaltic magma. But basaltic magma crack में से easily ऊपर आता है and then solidifies. Granitic magma, it cannot come out through cracks. So बहुत धीरे धीरे ऊपर आता है and it starts cooling. But before reaching the up on the surface of the earth, it may get cooled below the earth itself. Why? Because it is viscous. And therefore we say it will not have smaller crystals, it will have much larger crystals, and we say this is an intrusive rock. So understanding, so don't confuse between crust and rocks. Crust khatam ho gaya, bhul jao. We have finished that topic. It has no relation to the rocks. Rocks jo hame dikhte hai, we do not see the crust because we are on the surface. हमारे नीचे there is a layer of sedimentary igneous rocks, and उसके बाद crust शुरू होगा. You will not find the crust unless you dig a well and go inside. Getting this? Any confusion here? So remember, the second key point here is they are crystalline in nature. And the size of the crystals, they are crystalline in nature. The size of the crystals depends upon the rate of cooling, If the rate of cooling is faster, the rate of cooling is faster, the time for the formation of crystals is less. And therefore they have small, less or no crystals. Example, basalt. example basalt. On other hand, if the rate of cooling is very slow, then there is sufficient time for the development of crystals. And hence, the size of the crystals is larger. Example, granite, intrusive rocks, that is intrusive rocks. Example, granite, gabbro. Example is granite, gabbro. We'll see iska photos tomorrow, what is granite and gabbro. Though you have seen basalt also, though you have seen a basalt which is not having any crystals. The only thing is you did not know it was basalt. It is sold as black granite. Koi buildings, especially corporate houses, will have very shiny rock on a frame, black color ka, totally black in color. Remember, that is glassy basalt, extrusive igneous rock. Third point, on the basis of depth, they are classified into, intrusive and extrusive igneous rocks. Intrusive and extrusive igneous rock. The intrusive igneous rock is further classified into hypabasal igneous rock, which is found nearer to the earth's surface, and plutonic igneous rocks, which is found nearer to the which is plutonic igneous rock, which is found deep inside the earth, plutonic igneous rock which is found deep inside the earth. So this is what I want to say. Extrusive basalt, intrusive is of two types. अगर surface के पास है तो it is hypabasal. अगर बहुत ज़्यादा deep है inside the earth, then it is known as plutonic. इसका example is gabbro, इसका example is granite, इसका example is basalt. अब कल यही तीनों rocks आपको दिए, and they ask you to arrange them in the descending order on the size of the crystals. Descending order means बड़े crystals से छोटे crystal तक. So what is the answer? Granite, gabbro and basalt. Or if they do not give you rocks, so plutonic सबसे बड़े crystals, and then hypabasal and then extrusive. And if they ask you in the ascending order, then this basalt, gabbro and granite. That is, you should remember That is, as you go down, what is increasing? The size of the crystals increase. The size of the crystals increase. Though we have written this point, we have done this point, still we'll write. On the basis of chemical properties, on the basis of chemical properties, the igneous rocks are of two types. The igneous rocks are of two types. कौन से two types? We have done this. Acidic igneous rock and basic igneous rocks. बेसिक का दूसरा नाम मैंने अभी आपको दिया था, दैट इज माफिक. माफिक बिकॉज इट हैज मोर आयरन इन इट. एसिडिक igneous rocks or mafic igneous rocks. Sorry. So you already know this. It has more what? Silica. Therefore lighter in color. It has more iron and magnesium, therefore it is थोड़ा darker in color. Next point, the next point is, will this rock contain fossils? Why?
Because of continental trade story or no, because of plate tectonic.
Will they contain any fossils? No. Why they do not contain any fossils? क्योंकि जब ये फॉर्म हुए थे एक तो लाइफ नहीं थी. सेकेंडली अगर वो आज फॉर्म होते हैं, सपोज when and if we are the fossils, 6000 degree Celsius के बाद कुछ बचेगा? No. So because of high temperature, the fossils are destroyed. So remember, that is, they do not contain fossils. Fossils are found only in the sedimentary rocks. As the high temperature destroys the fossils. Sixth, is they are, we will not understand this point abhi, but we will relate this point with the sedimentary rocks. That is, just write this point, they are found in massive forms or structures. They are found in massive forms and structures. Massive forms and structures, such as mountains, hills, full stop. These are compact rocks. Comma, hard rocks, and therefore not easily eroded or weathered. Not easily eroded or weathered. Not easily eroded or weathered. कल ही हमने एग्जाम्पल देखा, डाइक अगर है तो डाइक का हाइट डिक्रीज नहीं होता, बट सेडिमेंट्री रॉक्स का हाइट विल डिक्रीज एंड देन वी फाइंड एन वाटरफॉल. सो फाइन विद दिस. अब सी इसका एप्लीकेशन हम बाद में देखेंगे. दैट दे डू नॉट कंटेन फॉसिल्स. हम बाद में ब्लैक सॉइल में देखेंगे दैट ब्लैक सॉइल इज पुअर इन ऑर्गेनिक मैटर. इट इज नॉट रिच इन ऑर्गेनिक मैटर. क्यों? बिकॉज इट इज मेड फ्रॉम द बसाल्ट. इसका एग्जाम्पल इज गैब्रो acid, that is granite and basalt. Fine with this? Now this is an important topic from the examples point of view, is the sedimentary rocks. See, any rock which is broken down, it will form sediments. It can be original igneous rock, it can be original sedimentary rock also, it can be original metamorphic rock. उसके बाद the sediments may be carried by the agents of erosion or they may remain in the same place. After that, due to overlying pressure, the sediments will become compact. As they become compact, they will become solidified. अब they will better become solidified अगर there are some sediments in the original sedimentary rock which acts like a cement, या अगर पानी के नीचे है which will act like a cement. And this after for cementation, हम उस process को कहेंगे cementation. They will become compact and then they will become a rock. Example, you want to try at home, go home, नमक ले लो. Press that hard, keep it there. Namak is sediments. And after that, if you keep it there, it will develop, अंदर के heat के कारण, it will develop some kind of an water. Due to this, the molecules will stick to each other. And when you will release them, it will become more like a hard rock. But कितना hard, उसको फिर से touch करोगे तो it can easily be broken. Apply this here. Therefore, sedimentary rocks are more susceptible to erosion and weathering because though they are hard rocks, they can be easily broken or eroded. Because common salt is also an example of an sedimentary rock. Coal is an example of an sedimentary rock. Chalk is an example of an sedimentary rock. All these things which we use in our daily life, limestone is an example of an sedimentary rock. Chuna is an example of an sedimentary rock. Plaster of Paris is a sedimentary rock. So economically, agar daily life में the most important rock is the sedimentary rock. Sandstone जिससे घर बनते हैं, sedimentary rock. Loess, sedimentary rock. Multani mitti, sedimentary rock. All this is an sedimentary rock here. So take down the sedimentary rocks. Original rocks. Original rocks. Due to external agents. Due to external agents. Original rocks due to external agents. Original rocks can be igneous, metamorphic or sedimentary. Are broken down to form sediments. These sediments may be transported. These sediments may be transported. The sediments may be transported and deposited by the external agents. The sediments may be transported or deposited by these external agents. Over the period of time, these sediments are compacted and cemented. compacted and cemented to form sedimentary rock. Cemented to form sedimentary rock. This process of formation of a sedimentary rock, this process of formation of a sedimentary rock is known as lithification. Is known as lithification. So lithification में क्या 3 प्रोसेस इन्वॉल्व है? सेडिमेंटेशन, कॉम्पैक्शन एंड सीमेंटेशन. प्रीलिम्स के लिए ये सब ऐसे डायग्राम्स रेडी है तो रिविजन विल बी इजी. ये 3 प्रोसेस, व्हाट इज इन्वॉल्व इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ लिथिफिकेशन. Can I continue? See, on the basis of origin, we say that sedimentary rocks are of 3 types. One is physically formed sedimentary rock. Or they are known as, we have used this word again, formed due to mechanical force, that is the clastic sedimentary rocks. Then chemically formed sedimentary rocks. And it can be physically or chemically formed, but it will be derived from organic matter, that is from dead living organisms, bones, etc., and we will call them as an organically formed sedimentary rocks. So there are 3 types of the sedimentary rocks. कोई original rock टूटने से बना है, physically formed. कोई ओरिजिनल रॉक सड़ने से बना है, केमिकली फॉर्म्ड. सड़ने से मीन्स ड्यू टू सम काइंड ऑफ एन केमिकल रिएक्शन. इट मे बी बिकॉज इट इज इन अंडर द वाटर, इट मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ रस्टिंग, इट मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ अ प्रोसेस ऑफ कार्बोनेशन. और एन ओरिजिनल रॉक जो टूटने से या सड़ने से बना है बट फ्रॉम लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स, इट इज एन ऑर्गेनिकली फॉर्म्ड सेडिमेंट्री रॉक. फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर हड्डियों से बना है तो चूना और कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट. अगर डेड एंड डिकम्पोज्ड वेजिटेशन से बना है तो कोयला और कोल. दैट इज, अगर समंदर के नीचे बना है सिलिका, दैट इज सिलिकेट्स, अगेन काइंड ऑफ एन सेडिमेंट्री रॉक. अगर चॉक, दैट इज अगेन हड्डियों से बट लूज रॉक है, देन इट बिकम्स चॉक. सो इट हैज मोर ऑफ एन कैल्शियम. So these are the 3 kinds of an sedimentary rock physically formed. So can I say this is due to mechanical disintegration? Can I say this is due to decomposition? And can I say this is due to decomposition or disintegration or both, but of living organisms? That is dead organisms, not living organisms, the dead organisms. So first we'll start with the physically formed sedimentary rock. So physically formed sedimentary rocks, they are formed due to mechanical force or disintegration. They are formed due to mechanical force or disintegration. Formed due to mechanical force or disintegration of existing rocks. Mechanical force or disintegration of existing rocks. The sediments are broken. The sediments are broken and then compacted. And then compacted to form to form clastic sedimentary rock. To form clastic sedimentary rock. Example 1. Don't do all the examples. Examples which we are doing are more than enough. Now see, if the size of the sediments is of somewhere around 0.5 to 0.25 mm, and if they are compacted over the period of time, इससे stone बनेगा, and if the size of the sediments is this smaller, we will call this stone as an sandstone. So first example is sandstone. The size of the sediments is similar to sand. Example is sandstone. Size of the sediment is similar to sand. Pyro, fire, clastic, mechanical force. So pyroclastic, volcanic eruptions. Clastic, sedimentary rocks. Pyroclastic is only during volcanic eruptions. So one is the sandstone. अगर sandstone से the size of the particles is smaller, sand से smaller size of the particles है, and if they become compacted together, it will result into formation of a rock, जिसको हम कहेंगे it is because it is made up of minerals which are materials which are similar to clay. अब clay जैसा ही particles है, but they are still minute than clay. Then it is known as an shale. And agar the particles are very small, very minute, they are known as loess. Remember, loess is rich in lime. Lime का कंटेंट ज़्यादा है इसमें. Not need of writing, हम बाद में ये प्रॉपर्टीज में लिखेंगे. But can you say कि ये sandstone, because it is made up of coming together of the sand particles, इसमें gaps होंगे between the sandstone? उन gaps में से water can pass? So sedimentary rocks, can I say, will be permeable rocks or porous rocks? क्या होगा? जिसमें से पानी पास होता है, क्या होता है? They are permeable rocks. So they are permeable rocks because उसमें gap है and therefore it can allow the water to pass. I am coming to porous. Now the clay का particles या shale का particles are so minute कि एक बार अगर उसमें पानी आ गया तो it does not allow the water to pass. It will hold the water. So you will call such which holds the water, because the gaps are very, very minute. It is known as porous rocks. It is known as an porous rocks. Generally, all the permeable rocks are porous rocks. Right or wrong? All the permeable rocks are porous rocks. आपके घर में मटका है. Is it permeable or is it porous? It is porous. How it is permeable? पानी डालते ही बिना नल के Yeah, small, very small. So that is more of an porosity. Permeability, you put the water, water will go through. For example, अगर ऊपर rock है, rain water, because if it is permeable, it will go through and collect as in groundwater. But generally clay जो होता है, it is non-permeable but porous. It will hold the particles. इतने छोटे हैं particles, क्या it does not allow the gap for the water to pass. So water will get evaporate. Air passes. घर के अंदर के मटके का पानी ठंडा क्यों होता है? Because of evaporation. Evaporation is losing the heat. Water does not pass through. Water will get evaporated and therefore the air will in the form of heat passes through. But इसलिए पानी का लेवल धीरे धीरे कम होता है. That is, अगर आपने आज भरा मटका 3 दिन बाद बिना पानी पिए वो खाली हो सकता है because of loss of water through evaporation as it is porous. But ये नहीं होगा कि पानी निकल ही जाएगा totally because it is non-permeable. So generally most permeable rocks are porous, but ज़रूरी नहीं that all the permeable rocks are porous also. So generally permeable and porosity is more or less same. For example, shale. Dead particles, living organisms are trapped inside the shale, and because they are trapped inside the shale, हमारे अंदर जो कार्बन है वो escape नहीं होता in the atmosphere. And because it does not escape in the atmosphere, it gets trapped here, and after some many years we find इसमें gas. That is shale gas. भाई अगर ये permeable and porous होता तो easily the carbon would have removed, gone, and फिर उसका breakdown नहीं होता and there would not have been gas. But because it is non-permeable and non-porous, therefore the carbon gets trapped inside and then we find a gas in this, that is the shale gas. Gas, generally आजकल shale gas पे बहुत ज़्यादा focus है. India, does it have shale gas deposits? Yes. कहाँ पे? गुजरात, कृष्णा गोदावरी बेसिन, बहुत जगह है. Country which is the largest producer of shale gas? USA. So shale gas एक important, and देखो shale gas because इसमें that oil or the gas is trapped, इसको बाहर निकालना बहुत मुश्किल है, and therefore we use a process known as fracking or fractional distillation. That is this process. When we go, viscosity इसकी कम हो जाती है, viscosity कम हो जाएगी तो it will become more fluidic and it will start coming up. So उस fractional distillation के लिए पिछले साल तक राजस्थान में एक फूड आइटम है गवार गम या गवार, जो ग्रीन कलर का ऐसा लंबा गम होता है. It was used for the process of fractional distillation, and therefore though it is not a famous food item, उसकी सब्जी बनती है. I guess in Hindi it may be called as falli, जो green color का है, so जिसकी सब्जी बनती है. It was, उसका prices suddenly went sky high. Why? Because fractional distillation के लिए सबसे best था वो, and therefore it was exported to Europe, to USA. सबसे ज़्यादा high demand थी USA में. इस साल 2018 मार्च में suddenly the prices went down. Why? Because गवार गम का demand, there is no more demand. Demand is not there because China ने एक ऐसा product बनाया which is cheaper, synthetic, and इसके लिए you do not require a guar gum. So there has been a fall in the prices of an guar gum. Otherwise हर economic survey ने guar gum के बारे में लिखा था except for this economic survey. Guar gum has been your past year question also. कि for the fracking what we use, do we use guar gum? 2015 की का question है या 2016 का question है ये. For fracking what do we use? That is because it has been it was exported in large quantities, and देखो natural है, so natural quantity, there is a natural product, इसलिए supply and demand के हिसाब से उसका price होगा. अब चाइना ने किया, it has come with an artificial or synthetic product which is similar to guar gum, तो वो तो कितना भी बनाओ फैक्ट्रीज में उसमें ले सीजन्स बिजन्स की ज़रूरत नहीं, and therefore उसका prices has gone down, and that is why राजस्थान का farmers are facing a trouble because गवर्नमेंट के कहने पे, इंटरनेशनल इस पे कहने पे they had lot of an guar gum, और इस साल उनको खरीदने वाला कुछ नहीं. So that is an shale. So this are an some of an example of the rocks. But सबसे पहले हमारे लिए सबसे important है loess. So we'll write something about loess. very fine, very fine, very fine sedimentary rock, which is rich in lime, and yellowish in color, is known as loess. Loess is highly susceptible to erosion. Loess is a weak rock, and hence it is easily eroded. Next line. Winds carry large amount of loess deposits. Deposit. Winds carry large amount of loess and deposit them in the surrounding regions. This entire line will make sense once we draw the diagram. In the surrounding regions, full stop. Loess being weak rock, comma, having high porosity. It is easily eroded by the rivers. And hence the regions having loess deposits is known for rivers shifting their courses and badland topography. Rivers shifting their courses and the badland topography. What do you mean by badland topography? जैसे चंबल है. If this is a land, यहाँ पे making a house or doing agricultural field is very easy, or making a road etc. is very easy. अब if this entire soil or if this entire rock is very weak rock, wind भी इसको easily erode कर रही है, पानी भी इसको easily erode कर रहा है, so this region over the period of time may become somewhat like this. And this region then becomes useless for any human activity. You cannot make road, ज़मीन धंस जाएगी. You cannot do any kind of an agriculture activity. बारिश आएगी तो maybe this will get dissolved and even this will become more and more deeper. And such kind of an topography we know is an badland topography. Natural है इंडिया में जहाँ पे vegetation कम है, that is river चंबल. चंबल की this is known as ravines. और artificial India में है अभी badland topography is increasing in western UP and Haryana and Punjab. Large scale increase in the badland topography का region. So you must have read कल का newspaper कि जो गवर्नमेंट क्लेम कर रहा है कि किसानों का ट्वाइस करना है 2022 तक, जो इनकम इंक्रीज करना है, डबल करना है। रियलिटी में क्या आया? रियलिटी में 17% फार्मिंग इनकम डिक्रीज हुआ है रादर देन, और ये किसी न्यूज़ आइटम ने नहीं किया, न्यूज़ आइटम ने एक पब्लिश किया था कुछ दिनों पहले, तो उस न्यूज़ एडिटर को हटा दिया गया था। आई विल नॉट टेक द नेम ऑफ एन चैनल, बट उस न्यूज़ एडिटर को हटा दिया गया। उसने जब व्हेन प्राइम मिनिस्टर वाज डूइंग हिज मन की बात एंड इंटरेक्टिंग विद अ लेडी, तो उस लेडी ने कहा मेरी इनकम डबल हो गई। जब न्यूज़ वाले गए एग्जैक्टली देखा डॉक्यूमेंट्स, तो उसकी इनकम कम हो गई है, डबल छोड़ो। तो उस व्हेन दैट न्यूज़ पब्लिश्ड इट वाज रिमूव्ड, but this report which I am talking was released yesterday by NABARD. NABARD has said, जो गवर्नमेंट की एजेंसी है, which is an autonomous agency, it says that there has been 17% decrease in agricultural income in last 2 years rather than increase in the agricultural income. Now this is, एक तो natural reasons भी है इसमें, उसका one of the natural reason is बैड लैंड टोपोग्राफी। इंडिया में इतना ज़्यादा सॉइल इरोजन है, इतना ज़्यादा बैड लैंड टोपोग्राफी है, दैट वेस्टर्न यूपी इज लूजिंग मच ऑफ इट्स लैंड टू द बैड लैंड टोपोग्राफी। सम ईयर्स बैक व्हेन यू यूज्ड टू गो फ्रॉम दिल्ली टू इलाहाबाद, दिल्ली टू आगरा, ज़मीन फ्लैट दिखती थी। अब नेक्स्ट टाइम व्हेन यू गो बाय रोड यू विल सी कि ज़मीन ऊपर नीचे है। ड्रॉट ईयर पर व्हाट हैज़ हैपेंड इज द, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग यू कि वो रिपोर्ट क्या है, मैं बता रहा हूँ कि एग्रीकल्चर इनकम क्यों कम हो रही है। वन ऑफ द नेचुरल, आई एम नॉट क्रिटिसाइजिंग एनी ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज और प्रोग्राम्स, सो आई एम टेलिंग यू हियर कि वन ऑफ द रीज़न कि बैड लैंड टोपोग्राफी हैज़ बीन इंक्रीजिंग इन इंडिया, एंड इसका एक रीज़न है 1986 में we brought in a bad tree, what is known as an eucalyptus tree. Eucalyptus tree was brought and planted in different parts in northwestern India, and it has decreased the groundwater level. जैसे decrease हुआ है of a groundwater level, this ऊपर का soil which was full of water and therefore they were cemented, and now it has become dry, and because it has become dry, ये जो flat land है it has now become up and down, resulting into formation of ravines. So bad land topography is increasing in India, but there are some of the natural regions of the world जहाँ पे bad land topography is there, and क्या होता है for this river to flow, suppose if the river is flowing in this region, for the river to flow there is a proper channel through which the river flows. Now when the river is flowing through this region, अगर ये channel is made up of hard rock, then river can maintain उसका original flow. But if it is made up of very very soft soil, then पानी में that soil will get dissolved, and अगर आज इस direction में flow कर रही है river, for example if we take a top view कि river is flowing in this direction, tomorrow this same river may erode and change उसका direction, or it may change, erode and change उसका direction. So we call such as the shifting of the river courses. Soil इतनी easy, इतनी loose है यहाँ पे that river cannot flow in उसका original path, और river का erosion capacity is so high that river can erode उसका channel, and this is known as the shifting of river courses. What is the problem of this? Problem of this is an original flow of a river, therefore village comes in this region, town comes in this region. अब river if it changes उसका course, then flooding. So which river I am talking about? I am talking about Sorrow of China. That is the Wangho river, which is known for shifting uska course. We are talking about Sorrow of Assam, that is river Brahmaputra, which is known for shifting uska course. We are talking about Kosi, the Sorrow of Bihar, which is known for shifting uska course. We are talking about Damodar, that is the Sorrow of Bengal, which is, and Bangladesh, which is known for shifting the courses. Out of all this, only one river flows through Loess, and that is Wangho. So case 1 or example 1. So if this is a part of an world, Siberia, Russia, etc., then South China Sea region, this is the part of China, and we can say this is how India is. Now this is the country of Mongolia, and Mongolia में the desert का नाम is Gobi Desert. Up there are this Gobi Desert is also known as Yellow Desert. Why Yellow Desert? You have just written because it is dominated by a rock which is rich in loess. Up the winds come from this Gobi Desert region. As the winds come from this Gobi Desert region, they start blowing towards the South China Sea region. Q climatology. Wind always flows from high pressure to low pressure. So the winds when they come, they carry large amount of sediments. But यहाँ पे आने के बाद the speed of the wind is decreased. As the speed of a wind is decreased, they start depositing the sediments, and these sediments are nothing but what? Loess deposits which are originating from the Gobi deserts. And फिर यहाँ से the river Wang Ho goes, and river Wang Ho will easily erode the sediments here, जहाँ जहाँ lowest deposits है. So इसलिए river Wang Ho does not flow through its path. It is known for frequently changing उसका path or frequently changing उसका channel. Therefore, river Wang Ho is known as the sorrow of China. Secondly, because of the lowest deposits, इस river को हम कहते हैं Yellow River. And जहाँ पे ये river goes inside the sea, this is an Yellow Sea. Yellow Sea. Why Yellow Sea? Why Yellow River? Because of loess. कहाँ से आता है loess? From the deserts of Mongolia. So that is why this is one of the biggest badland topography वाला region. Loess, remember, very very loose. Same like talcum powder. इतना loose होता है वो soil. अब talcum powder से अगर पानी छोड़ोगे तो obviously it will get eroded. अब imagine talcum powder से landform बनाया और वहाँ से एक बड़ी river जा रही है. So and you have used the loess also. If you have used loess को हिंदी में कहते हैं मुल्तानी मिट्टी. So that is nothing but we are talking about multani mitti, which is a very very, it may be a tough rock in the desert conditions. So यहाँ पे तो landform बना देता है. But how do you use multani mitti? You add water to it, and after adding water, it becomes weaker rock. So this is what is happening here. Understanding this? So you take down, one is the Yellow River region. Yellow River region. Yellow River region. Large amount of loess deposits. Large amount of loess, not deposits, large amount of loess. From Gobi Desert, Is Gobi Desert present even in China? What is the name of desert in China? It is Taklamakan. So it is not Gobi. Gobi मतलब Mongolia. Yellow Desert किसको कहते हैं? Gobi को या Taklamakan को? It is only Gobi. Why is the Gobi Desert famous? वहाँ पे कौन सा most important mineral मिलता है? इंडिया ने साइन भी किया है उसके उनके साथ to supply that mineral. That is used in the second nuclear. That is uranium. Uranium. Gobi Desert is very rich in uranium. ये बाद में लिखना कुछ extra facts, but take down now. From Gobi Desert is deposited in Wang Ho River region. It is deposited in the Wang Ho River region. Wang Ho River region. कुछ atlas में it will be written as Wang Ho also. Wang Ho. So remember, Chinese में spelling does not matter, pronunciation matters. So Wang Ho या Wang Ho, it is the same thing. Therefore, Wang Ho is known for Therefore, Wangwo is known for flooding, shifting of the course, and is known as sorrow of China. What is the other name for Wangho? Yellow river. Have to understand क्या होता है यहाँ पे in this region. You cannot do any kind of an planning activity. घर नहीं बना सकते, जमीन कभी भी धंस सकती है. मध्य प्रदेश आज भी चंबल की घाटियाँ, आज भी that is an problem. You cannot make roads because roads will be eroded. And यहाँ पे why catching the criminals is also very difficult. Because only the local person knows कि कहाँ से कैसे भागना है. तो कितना प्रेशर देने के बाद that ground will not go down. बाहर से पुलिस आती है, CRPF comes, CISF comes, they do not know the local topography. वो भागते हैं उनके पीछे and ultimately they trap them in such a way कि they will take him to an area जहाँ पे पुलिस की जीप नीचे और the entire police का team नीचे. Why? Because the local people know how to run, how much pressure should be given. The same applies here. I am telling all this because एक prelims का fact याद रखना, सबसे dangerous badland topography is this Wangho river. ये तो पूरा बना है लोएस से. And then this is China. So China has made world's largest dam in this region. उन्होंने पूरा वहाँ से लोएस निकाल दिया. They have introduced artificial crust. They have made the crust very, very strong in this region. And उसके ऊपर we have on the Wangho world's largest dam. It is also famous for nothing to related with the badland topography. This is general knowledge. You should know Wangho is famous for the largest dam, that is the Three Gorges Dam. So we'll continue tomorrow. This dam what? To reduce the flooding, to reduce the